Good day, everyone. So, the topic that we are going to discuss today is about the introduction to the ethnography and ethnolinguistic research. So, we have here the objectives of our discussion. First, understand the concept of the ethnography and ethnolinguistic research, and identify and differentiate the types of a linguistic borrowing or language borrowing, and also analyze and understand the code switching, and recognize and analyze the different discourses of language. So now, the first that we are going to tackle is ethnography. So, what is ethnography? So, ethnography came from the Greek word ethnos, which means people, and graphein means writing. Ethnography is a kind of qualitative research in which it is necessary to include oneself in a certain group or organization in order to observe their behavior and interactions intensively, since its utmost purpose is to gain a holistic understanding of a social cultural group. In simple words, it is the description of people and their way of life. So in ethnography, when we say ethnography, it is a kind of qualitative research, which is the researchers here are focuses on the study of the group of people in a particular place or environment. So the researchers here are required, or they are required to engage to their participants or to the group of people. So it's like the researchers will also participate, or like joining also the to the activities, because in that way the researchers would be able to characterize or identify if what group of people's doing. They would be able to characterize the behaviors of the group of people, also their traits, culture, and challenges. The good thing here, or the good thing of this research, of this ethnographic research, is that the researchers here can obtain first-hand information. So, madali lang nila nakukuha ang information na gusto nilang malaman because nandun na sila sa lugar or sa particular place. And also, they would be able to get that high quality of data. Therefore, of course, the information that they get are legitimate, realistic, and authentic. So now, how they get the data, or what method they use? They also use three methods, which is the observations, interview, surveys. But the one that they are commonly used is observations, because that I think that is the one method that they can easily get the information that they want or that they need. Next is ethnolinguistic. So, what is an ethnolinguistic? Ethnolinguistic is concerned with the study of the interrelation between a language and a cultural behavior of those who speak it. To sum it up, ethnography and ethnolinguistic is pertaining to culture, language, common behaviors, and beliefs in a particular community. So when we say ethnolinguistic, it is focuses how language and culture are connected. So the way people speak, or the way we speak, it shows a lot about our culture, also our beliefs, our behaviors, and also how we treat others. Like in some cultures, the way we speak to our elders, or even here in the Philippines, the way we speak to our elders, we have a special words that we use, or some ways to speak to our elders, because it shows, or to show respect. So that thing is part of both language and culture. So that is the ethnolinguistic. So now let's start, or let's proceed to the linguistic borrowing. Linguistic borrowing, the abstract noun borrowing, refers to the process of speakers adapting words from source language into their native language. So here, in the linguistic borrowing, it is the way of people how they adapt words from source language or from other place and make them as their own or as their native language. So now here in the Philippines, we have a lot of words that are not actually originated here, right? But in a long period of time, it became as our own. It became as our native because we use it in our everyday life. So we have here some example, which is garage. It is from French and China. Also karaoke. So we we always hear this word karaoke here in the Philippines, but actually it is not originated here in the Philippines, but it's originated actually in Japan or Japanese. Also, cartoon, which comes from Italian. Ketchup comes from Chinese, and also cookie, it comes from Dutch. So we have here some examples of the Latin, Greek, and German words that are borrowed. In Latin words, we have here some word which is agenda and ambiguous, also naive and tentative. So yes, Greek words naman is music, dinosaur, phobia, and galaxy. And also in French words, we have here money and what is this? Denim, habit, and modern. So it all comes from French. And also we have here German words that comes in Germany, in German. It is noodle, nickel, kindergarten, and arms. So these words, including the Latin words, Greek word, French words, and German words, are all borrowed. They are all called loan words. So in linguistic borrowing, we have here five types. Number one is loan words. Number two is loan translations or loan translators. And also loan rendition, loan blend, and lastly is loan shift. So first types of language borrowing is loan words. So loan word is a word at least partly assimilated from one language into another language. So loan word, it is a process where in the word and the meaning of a word are borrowed. So here there is no word and meaning translation, or it's like you will just borrow the word. So it is when we take a word directly from another language, sometimes we change the sound of it, but it is still stay close to original. We have an example. Bazaar. Comes from Persian word which means market. And here in the Philippines, we speak it in like bazaar. So the sound of it is changed. Also, we have here coffee. It comes from French word which means coffee. So this word is just simply borrowed from the word and also to meaning, and we use it in English now as if it's like our own word. So yeah, this word are just simply borrowed the word and also the meaning. So next is loan translator. So in loan translator is a word or phrase borrowed from another language by literal word for word or root for root translation. So in this type of borrowing, the loan translation words and phrases that are from certain language and will be translated into another language using word for word translation. So instead of copying the word or the phrase, we translate it word for word. We have here example. The Spanish phrase "al momento de la verdad" is translated into English as "the moment of truth." So here the translation has occurred where phrases or words are borrowed is translated so that the language users will understand it. Third one is loan rendition. So in loan rendition, the translation vaguely captures the original meaning. So when we say vaguely, it means uncertain or unclear. So now, loan translation and loan rendition is quite similar. So why? It is quite similar because, yes, because both of them requires translation. However, this loan rendition is a type of translation that is uncertain or unclear in capturing the original meaning. We have an example. For instance, refrigerator is translated as ice box in Chinese. The word here that is being translated into English language is the word ice bag. Ice box from Chinese language. So for us Filipino speakers, when we say ice box, what do you think is that? It is a handy box used for just storing ice. But in Chinese, um, it is referred to as a refrigerator. So as you can see, the translated word which is the refrigerator is unclear in capturing the original meaning which is icebox. So here, in loan rendition, you just need to remember here that when we say loan rendition, the translation is not exact but gives the general meaning. Next is lone blend. So lone blend, one part of the compound is borrowed, the other one translated. So lone blend is composed of borrowed words from different languages. It is a type of borrowing that combines two different languages in order to create a new form of a word. We have an example. So for example, monolingual is a borrowed word from Greek and Latin language. So the mono is borrowed from Greek language, and lingual is borrowed from Latin language, and it makes one word which is monolingual. Another example is may include here is aquaphobia. So aquaphobia, it is the combination of Latin and Greek language, which is the word aqua is borrowed from Latin language and phobia is from Greek language. So from Latin language and phobia is from Greek language. So here in long blend, you just need to remember here that it is the combination of two different languages, which is one word that one part is from other source language and the other part is from other source language also. So it is combination. So now we move on to the last types of language borrowing, which is the loan shifts, a process of borrowing semantic meaning rather than lexical items from another language, very similar to the formation calculus. So shifts, it is another type of borrowing that is also known as semantic load. It refers to a change in the meaning of a word under the influence of another language. In short, the meaning of a certain word from another language is the one that is being borrowed. So for instance, the word Superman got its meaning or borrowed its meaning from the German word Ebemesh or Obemesh, which means a person with understanding powers. And another example here would be the word bridge. The meaning of the bridge is borrowed from the Italian word ponte, which means an overpass or railway bridge. So here in loan shifts, you just need to remember here is that we don't actually borrow the word, but we borrow the meaning. So that's all of my report or slide. Thank you.
Good day everyone, I will be the discussant of code switching. So code switching, it happens when someone switches between two languages or language styles in the same conversation. People often do this without thinking, especially when they speak more than one languages. So for example, I'm so tired na I studied all night. So na is from that Tagalog word and then it mixed into English. So people switch languages to to better express themselves and to connect with others, or maybe because some words are feels easier to say in another language. There are three types of code switching. So first is extra sentential or tag switching. So it happens when a speaker add a short phrase or words from another language at the end of a sentence. So it's like adding a tag or extra comment. So for example, you're going to the party, diba? So diba is a Tagalog word that means right. So it is used to confirm something or ask for agreement. So these tags don't change the meaning of a sentence. They just add emotion, emphasis, or maybe a natural habit of speaking. So the second is intersentential code switching. So intersentential, it happens when a speaker switch languages between full sentence or clauses. So it's like saying one full thought in one language and then it continues to another language. So for example, it's raining outside kaya hindi kami natuloy sa picnic. So the English sentence, it's raining outside, explains the situation. And then the Tagalog sentence, kaya hindi kami natuloy sa picnic, explains the result. So the last one is intrasentential code switching. So it happens when a speaker switch languages within the same sentence or clause. So the sentence starts in one language and then it mixes words or phrases from another language in the middle. So for example, I need to buy ulam for dinner. So the sentence is in English, but ulam is a is a Tagalog word for viand or main dish is inserted. So the speaker mix both language in one sentence. That's all.
Good day everyone. Today we are going to tackle about the discourses of language in cultural and social relevance. So this refers to the specific linguistic action of alternating or combining two or more languages. Describe the use of different dialects, accents, language, combinations, and mannerisms within social groups in order to project particular identity. Discourse of language. This means how we use language to show who we are in a social group. For instance, using slang with friends but formal language with a teacher. Imagine I am talking to roommate with informal languages and I am using slang words. But when it comes to Mom Mary Rose, I need to change my language because I am talking to her. In short, or to understand it more, this shows how language changes based on the situations and who you're talking to. Next is political discourse. The text and talk of professional politicians or political institutions. They include speeches, debates, and other forms of communication related to politics and government. Political discourse. This language used in politics, speech by president or debate between politicians. For instance, when a senator gives a speech about a new law, they use formal language and facts to persuade people. Next is academic discourse, a formal and structured way of communicating ideas, research, and knowledge within academic communities. So it is also characterized by its use of specialized vocabulary, formal writing, conversations, and rigorous standards of evidence and argumentation. Academic discourses, this is the formal language used in schools and universities. It's like writing a research paper, precise and detailed. Earlier in activity, Group 1 says that it's so much reliable if they find a sources in book. So the example of this is when we are writing a English report or research, we are using precise words and cite for sources to show our research accurate. So next is religious discourses. This includes texts, sermons, and other forms of communications related to religion. It involves the use of religious language, symbols, and concepts to express ideas and perspective relate to religion. And these examples is a debate between two individuals, one who believes in the existence of God and the other who does not. So they are just talking about religious and they express idea and perspective relying on their religion. Next is media discourse. This includes news, reporting, entertainment, and other forms of communication related to the media. So this is how news and entertainment communicate information. For instance, a news report on TV, a movie, or a social media post. They are using a clear and concise language. Just like earlier, Group 2 keep a media. So they was just acting about social media posts. So the next one is legal discourse. This includes court proceedings, legal documents, and other forms of communications related to the law. So what is legal discourse? This is how the law communicates. It uses formal language and specific terms. For example, court documents a lawyer's speech in court, like a judge explaining a court ruling using precise legal terms and citing relevant laws. The next one is medical discourse. This includes medical journals, patients' communication, and other forms of communication related to healthcare. So this is talking about health in doctor office, hospital, or medical journals. For instance, a doctor explaining a diagnosis to a patient or nurses discussing a patient's chart. So last one is the business discourse. This includes communication related to business and commerce, such as marketing, advertising, and financial reporting. What is business discourse? This was talking about, of course, in business, like marketing, advertising, or financial report. So, for instance, Ativic and Kate selling cookies to raise money for a trip. And then, they decided how much to make a poster to advertise their cookies. Also, they discussing about how they are going to share the profit. So, that's the business. They are planning and communicating about to their business. So for this discourse of language in cultural and social relevance, there is a meeting, debates, writing, correspondence. So in conclusion, discourse of language in cultural and social relevance, this is how we communicate in meetings, debates, and letters, showing how language changes depending on the situation and people involved.
So today, let's talk about ethnographic research part. First, title. Title shows the problem or the research problem, and also it includes the authors. Next, abstract. Abstract summarizes objectives, methodology, key findings, and many more. Next is the keywords. It highlights the focus areas. And next, introduction. Introduction provides background, context, and uh, for the study. Yes, it provides background and context for the study. Also, objectives. Objectives can be found in abstract. The scope of the research problem, of course. Next is methodology. Methodology includes ethnographic approach, field work with the problem like interview, conversation, participant data thematically analyzed, and that's all. And next, findings. Findings is just like the survey like that, the answers and the solution, recommendation, what you can recommend about the research problem, about the findings, and also the conclusion. The conclusion also includes in abstract, calls attention to the cause and effect, major barrier, and critical areas, and also reform, which means recommendations. And the last thing is the references, which shows the links of search link that includes in the research citations like that. And that's all for my report. Thank you.